I'd like today to briefly promote the existence of the documentary Gumby Dharma, directed by Robina and Marchesi, which was released in 2006. The subject is, of course, the animated creation of Gumby and its creator, Art Clokey. I was familiar with Gumby to some degree, not as familiar as I ought to be, considering the footage shown off in this particular documentary, Gumtasia, and Clokey's later work, Mandala, seem extraordinary. And I didn't know much about Clokey himself. He lived a fascinating life, although an incredibly tragic life. I thought as though his early years were heartbreaking, the circumstances surrounding his mother and then the passing of his father. Although then he seemed to enter a kind of renaissance. It was disrupted by the later 1960s. We tend to think of the hippie counterculture era as an exciting time, although unfortunately Clokey engaged in this scene at the expense of his work and his family. He met a woman named Gloria, who would wound up being his second wife in the later 1970s, and whilst he maintained it appeared to maintain more of a relationship with the children from his initial marriage. Unfortunately, his daughter passed away in the early 1970s also. Clokey's life was a devastating series of events, but also a series of immense miracles. He reflects upon his aging, the passing of Gloria, as testing his faith. It's immensely powerful. It's both uplifting and potentially depressing, although we learn so much about the perspective beauty as much as the perspective tragedies of life within Gumby Dharma. I suppose any documentary, any piece of work with the word Dharma in the title must entail this. It's only inevitable. This documentary has been uploaded to YouTube, and I have linked it in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure.